Imagine holding a old dirty 1976 Bicentennial Quarters, a coin so common that millions of people ignore it every single day. What if I told you that one of these old, worn, forgotten quarters hiding in pocket change, yes, your old dirty Bicentennial Quarter might be a life-changing treasure. The 1976 D-era Bicentennial Eisenhower dollar. Imagine digging through an old jar of coins. Your hands are dusty, your eyes squinting in the dim light, and suddenly, a huge, heavy, dirty coin slides into your palm. At first, you think it's just another old dollar. But then the date hits you: 1776 to 1976. And the mint mark? A small, bold D. Your heart skips a beat. Because right there, covered in decades of grime, you might be holding one of the most valuable bicentennial Eisenhower dollars ever discovered. The 1976 D Bicentennial Eisenhower dollar is one of the most fascinating and misunderstood coins in American numismatic history. Most people think the bicentennial coins were made in massive numbers and are worth almost nothing. And for the average coins, that's true. The U.S. Mint struck millions. They were everywhere: banks, casinos, circulation, mint sets. But buried within those millions are a tiny number of extraordinary mint-made mistakes. These rare errors, some hidden for decades under dust and dirt, now sell for shocking amounts of money. Another unbelievable category is double-struck errors. These are coins that were struck once, then struck again, either fully or partially, and in some cases, completely off-center. A double-struck bicentennial-like dollar can be worth $10,000 to $40,000, depending on how dramatic the second strike is. The more the design is visibly doubled, the more valuable the coin becomes. One example sold for nearly $50,000, and if a particularly bold double strike with full rotation were found today, it could hit six figures in the right auction. But the Denver Mint also accidentally produced off-center struck bicentennial-like dollars, some with as much as 40% of the design missing. These errors are visually stunning, and collectors absolutely love them. Off-center bicentennial dollars with large off-centers and clear dates can reach $5,000 to $15,000, and if the mint mark is fully visible, the value jumps dramatically. A unique piece, especially one with extreme off-center and a complete date, could be worth $25,000 or more. Then we get into broad strike errors, where the collar, the metal ring that shapes the coin's edge, malfunctioned, causing the coin to spread outward like a pancake. While not as rare as wrong planchet or double strikes, broad-struck bicentennial dollars can still reach $1,000 to $5,000 depending on severity. But again, if the error combines with another mistake like a broad strike plus an off-center strike, the value skyrockets. Combined errors can easily surpass $10,000 or more. But the real giants, the true monsters of the bicentennial-like dollar world, are the transitional and experimental planchet errors. These are coins struck on the wrong metal entirely, such as the rare silver-clad planchets or planchets left over from proof production. A bicentennial-like dollar from the Denver Mint struck accidentally on a silver planchet would be a once-in-a-generation discovery. Experts believe a genuine example could sell for $250,000 to $500,000 and potentially even over $1 million if authenticated and auctioned. And then we have the mysterious struck-through errors, coins struck with foreign objects accidentally left inside the press. These objects can be cloth, metal shards, grease, tools, or even small fragments of other coins. Struck-through bicentennial dollars range from $500 to $5,000, but dramatic pieces like those struck through large metal fragments can exceed $10,000. The 1976 D-era Bicentennial Kennedy half dollar. Imagine this: you're going through an old dusty box in the corner of a forgotten drawer. The air smells like old paper and rusted metal. You reach inside, fingers brushing against a pile of dirty old coins. Most of them look ordinary, just old pocket change from another decade. But then a large, heavy, silver-colored coin slides into your palm. You wipe the dirt away and the date freezes your breath. 1776 to 1976. Then you spot the mint mark D, and in that moment your heart jumps. To understand why these coins are so special, you need to know the story behind them. The bicentennial celebration of 1976 was one of the most patriotic moments in modern United States history. The U.S. Mint wanted something bold and powerful to honor America's 200th birthday. So they redesigned the quarter, the half-dollar, and the dollar. And for the half-dollar, they chose to keep the beloved portrait of John F. Kennedy, but add a brand new reverse Independence Hall, the birthplace of the Declaration of Independence, struck boldly into metal. Now let's talk about the rare errors that can make these coins worth incredible amounts of money. The first and most valuable category is wrong planchet errors. This happens when a bicentennial half-dollar was accidentally struck on the wrong metal, like a quarter planchet, nickel planchet, or even the ultra-rare silver planchet. Yes, silver bicentennial halves from the Denver Mint are not supposed to exist. Which means if you ever found one, its value could go far beyond $100,000, maybe even $250,000 or more. And because no confirmed 1976D silver planchet half-dollar has surfaced yet, experts say that if one is ever discovered, it could be $1 million. But wrong planchet errors aren't the only big money makers. One of the wildest and most dramatic types is the double strike error. When the coin is struck twice instead of once. Sometimes the second strike is off-center, rotated, or overlapping the first. These coins can look shocking, sometimes with Kennedy's face doubled or stretched, or Independence Hall appearing in two places at once. A dramatic double-struck bicentennial half-dollar can bring $10,000 to $20,000, even $50,000 depending on how extreme the second strike is. If a 1976D double strike combined with another rare error ever surfaced, the value could easily enter six-figure territory. Another highly valuable type is off-center strike errors. If the coin wasn't perfectly centered in the press, part of the design could be missing. The more off-center it is, especially 40% or more, the higher the value. A large off-center bicentennial Kennedy half-dollar with a full date and mint mark visible can sell for $5,000 to $15,000. And if a major off-center is combined with a wrong planchet or double strike, the value skyrockets. Then we have broad strike errors, where the collar that shapes the edge fails. The coin spreads outward like a wide pancake. These errors are eye-catching and collectible, often worth $1,000 to $5,000 depending on severity. Collectors love them because they make the coin look unnatural and rare. A broad strike combined with a strike-through or off-center strike can easily exceed $10,000. Let's talk about die cap errors, one of the rarest error types possible. A die cap happens when a coin gets stuck on the die and continues striking other coins, forming a cup-shaped cap. These are some of the most dramatic and valuable errors in all of numismatics. A bicentennial die cap Kennedy half-dollar could bring $20,000 to $60,000, and if an extreme example appeared, collectors would line up to bid it into six-figure territory. The 1976 error bicentennial quarter dollar, imagine this for a moment: you're digging through an old metal box, the kind that's been sitting untouched for decades. The lid squeaks open, releasing that unmistakable smell of old paper, rust, and forgotten memories. Your fingers sift through dusty keys, buttons, faded receipts, and then you hear it. The soft clink of a coin. You reach down, pulling out a dirty, dull, worn quarter. It looks like any other coin until the light hits it just right and you see that powerful date 1776 to 1976. A bicentennial quarter. To understand the value, we start with the history. The bicentennial celebration of 1976 was one of the biggest patriotic moments in American history. The U.S. Mint wanted something special to honor 200 years of independence, so for the first and only time, three everyday coins were redesigned: the quarter, the half-dollar, and the dollar. For the quarter, the design chosen was a bold colonial drummer with a torch of victory. Millions were minted, but what collectors didn't realize at the time was that hidden within all those coins were error coins, extremely rare mistakes that slipped through quality control and entered circulation. Let's talk about the rare errors that make these coins unbelievably valuable. The most valuable category is wrong planchet errors. These happen when a bicentennial quarter is accidentally struck on the wrong metal. Imagine a quarter struck on a dime planchet or a copper cent planchet, or, and this is the holy grail, a silver planchet. And here's the shocking part: the Denver Mint and Philadelphia Mint used leftover silver planchets from earlier years. That means a 1976 bicentennial quarter struck on a silver planchet is one of the rarest modern errors in existence. If one is discovered, its value could easily exceed $200,000 to $500,000 or even reach $1 million or more. We have double strike errors, some of the most dramatic and valuable errors known to collectors. A double-struck bicentennial quarter can show two overlapping drummers, two dates, doubled edges, or a rotated second impression. Extreme double strikes can bring $10,000 to $25,000, even $50,000 depending on how wild the strike looks. If a double strike is combined with another error like a wrong planchet, the price skyrockets. A dirty double-struck bicentennial quarter could be a life-changing discovery. Another high-value category is off-center errors. If the coin wasn't perfectly centered in the press, part of the design ends up missing. A 40% or 50% off-center bicentennial quarter with the date still visible can bring $5,000 to $20,000. And that's for worn examples. A dirty old off-center bicentennial quarter found in a junk drawer can make headlines. Then there are broad strike errors, where the coin expands outward without the collar shaping it. These unusual, stretched-out bicentennial quarters can sell for $1,000 to $5,000, especially if the date and drummer design are still visible. A broad strike coin can look bizarre and often goes unnoticed by the untrained eye. Many have been found dirty and worn, but that doesn't stop them from bringing big money. One of the rarest types is the die cap error. Imagine a coin getting stuck to the die and continuing to strike other coins, forming a strange, cup-shaped cap. These errors are extremely rare and extremely valuable. A bicentennial quarter with a dramatic die cap error could bring $20,000 to $50,000, and possibly more if the error is extreme. The most exciting part: these rare errors weren't made for collectors, they were made by mistake, slipped through the system, and went straight into circulation. Which means the next person to discover one of these extraordinary, rare, dirty bicentennial quarters might be you, so check every 1976 bicentennial quarter carefully. Anything unusual could be the sign of a rare error worth a fortune.